All right, so we may have a little friend visiting us by the name of Hurricane Ian. We're not sure, but what we do know is we're gonna get about somewhere between 5 and 10 inches of rain. So today is a good day to harvest our sweet potatoes. We're gonna see exactly how bad this bad soil actually affected the sweet potatoes, and hopefully we can get a good harvest. I try and do my sweet potato harvest in early September, but I use these storms as a good guide because if we get all this rain, they're not gonna do anything but crack. So no matter what is going on in the garden, we're gonna be able to get it and then at least start the process of drying it and curing it and having these for the winter. So little backstory. This garden right here, I got bad soil. As you know, I've been working on it slowly but surely. And this is the bed, and you can see if you compare to my previous videos like last year, I had them in a different garden bed and the vines were coming like all the way out. Not in this bed though. But there's other thing I did. This was the first year that I started my own sweet potato slips, and I did have a couple hiccups. But honestly, I have a couple sweet potatoes left from last year and they're all ready to basically start the slip. So it's a little bit of a learning curve, but I was able to obviously get some stuff started. I didn't want to buy them anymore because it cost me like, I want to say it was like 30 bucks for some sweet potato slips, which is just outrageous. You know, this way it was free. Maybe I didn't get as much this year, but next year I'll get more. And then what we're gonna do is after we harvest these potatoes, then we're gonna be able to amend the soil and start it. And I'm gonna show you right now why I think, before even digging in here, it's not gonna be good. So look at this. This is the soil. That's me putting my weight on that soil, okay? You can see, I mean, I just barely get an impression. It's really hard to dig in. Over here to my other garden beds that I've had for years. And let's just look at this one in particular. So this one, I'm gonna put my weight on it. You see that? I can't go any deeper and I didn't even put all my weight on it. So that makes a big difference right there. I mean, that just tells me, because as the sweet potato grows, I mean, you know how they work. They grow off the roots and then they've got to dig. So there is that situation. Always try to start with my hands and just digging because I don't want to bruise the potatoes, but I got a feeling that it's just not gonna work well. Yeah, see, this just isn't good. This is like basic crappy topsoil. So here's a spot that I dug earlier to test, and you can see it's better. So we're gonna have to use a shovel, and we're just gonna have to be really careful that we don't damage anything. The one benefit about using the shovel is it's gonna be ready to amend right away. Everything's gonna be churned up, so that'll work out well. All right, y'all, let's kick it. I'm just gonna go real easy. I mean, honestly, let's just get into the meat and potatoes of it, the whole thing. And we'll do one more right here. Now that we loosened it, we can get to business. Yay, a snack. So here we go. We're cooking with a little bit of something. Not a total bust, but the question is what comes up around it. See that? I just can't get in there. But now at this point, I really don't want to bust out the shovel because that happens. So I've been growing sweet potatoes for a few years now. This will be my 5th year growing them. From what I understand, from the way they grow, now this isn't scientific what I'm about to say, but if you start getting them like this is a good indication that this soil is too dense. And even though it can grow down, it may not be able to plumpen up as much. I think as we go through here and we'll find spots that are more fluffy soil, I have a feeling you're gonna find in those spots, you'll find a thicker sweet potato than this. This is like 2 sweet potato fries. I mean, really. Nasty soil. That is some thick soil. I wanna show you something. So this right here, this is the soil. This is harder than a set of woodpecker lips. We had this plant right here and it was coming in this way, but it looks like it's jutting this way. So what I do is I pull out a couple small potatoes and I try and find the cavity that it was in, and then I go underground and dig up. And it's like a ridiculous treasure hunt. The promise of treasure is very slim, but we won't lose hope. So there should be a potato somewhere around here because I'm following the roots. No date night potatoes yet. This is just a root, an edible root that is, but it's just really like a root size. Here we go. And a lot of people think that the potatoes are like really deep. I find that generally they're just below the surface. So see, this is loose here. You see that? It's nice and loose. So remember what I was saying about that long potato? Let's see about this one. And the size that this potato is coming out as tells me a lot as well about my soil. So it's not as skinny, but it's not as big. And see how it's been? It had a hard time getting into the soil right. That's kind of what we're dealing with, is just a lot of stuff like this. We have the roots still around here. So wherever there's a potato, generally speaking, there's another one to an extent. Well, I'm not gonna be as fast to say like it was a total failure, but comparison to like previous years and stuff like that, it's not looking real ultra promising, but I invite that kind of failure. I mean, if you think about it, let's say this is a failure. Let's just call it what it is. You're not gonna get as many potatoes, but what did we learn from this? You know, for my sweet potatoes, like I said, this is my 5th year, and this will officially be the worst year yet with them. It's not the end of the world because I'm learning a lot. Still, like, I learned that you gotta be careful what soil you put in, you know? Amend extra soil. Like, even when you put in brand new soil, go ahead and put some compost in with it, Ben. You know what I mean? Here, I think I may have a little cluster of something decent here. Put in something good, you know, put in some compost, add to it, fluffing it up, because this woodpecker lip stuff, this ain't gonna work. Once you fail a couple times and you learn a few things, then it really helps the next year is gonna be even better, right? Like, I know what to do next year. Like, first of all, I have to rotate my bed, so I'm gonna put them in my more positive bed. This one's always been a question mark, but I do think that I can get a lot more out of it. So I just keep trying, learning and learning. Gardening is not an instant success story, but I just want to show you like what's going on in my garden, and even how after years of doing something, you can still have a failure, and to embrace that failure. It's all about your mindset. You have to excuse me breathing heavy. The COVID's still making me tired, but like, because of the incoming storm, this has to be done or else I'll have nothing. Call the producers of Jurassic Park, because we are getting look at that worm. We are getting a fossil out of the garden right now. And that's basically how this unfolds. Oh, what I thought was 2 potatoes is really gonna be 1. The plot thickens. Come on. There's a lot of pressure on it. I don't want to break it. It's not a bad little potato. Kind of stupid looking, but it's not bad. Kind of looks like a bong or a pipe or something. A J. But see, remember I was telling you about that cavity that forms underneath? So now I can go through and use that to my advantage. Also follow the roots. I mean, they're coming this way. They grow off of roots. My dog's stalking me in the woods. All right, she's all dug up. So let's go get all our piles and see what the damage really is. It's not looking too good, but there is a silver lining, and that is the bed is completely dug up and ready to accept compost. So we can start repairing this issue today. And that is exactly what we will do. Is we will repair this issue. And it's gonna take a little bit of time, but all in all, I mean, that's a pretty good one. But I would say total, the bad soil gave us about 10% of the harvest. So yeah, it's not good, Maybe we can take the little ones and get some, you know, make some slips for next year off of them. I have to get on that soon. But again, if the storm comes like it's supposed to, even if we just get a bunch of rain, I'll go ahead and put the compost on in the next day or two. And then when it starts to rain real hard, it's just gonna work it in there and then mulch it. And I'm actually, if I can get enough compost in it, the plan is to seed that with some more root crops, carrots, turnips, radishes, simply for the fact that they can work that soil and get it deeper. And I think that's gonna work out really good because this bed, I mean, look, this bed behind me, it's almost noon and it's just about to get sun. And this has all been in the sun for the past couple hours. So it should work out pretty good, but that will give me enough time. I think putting those root crops in will help it dig down even deeper. Oh, look at that, I forgot a tater. Can't leave that behind. But in comparison, last year, I remember I was digging them up and I was like, who cares if it gets a little hole in it or a scratch? I got plenty. This year, it's like, these are gold and it is not enough to feed my family, but we still have a couple left over from last year. And then with this, we should maybe be able to make it, I'd say through February, based on the couple pounds I have left from the last harvest. So we might be okay. But yeah, we're gonna amend it. We're gonna add fertilizer, mulch it, plant it, grow it this winter, allow it to dig. And then even next year, I'm probably gonna put parsnips in it too, so that they can continue to dig down and just work more and more and just really work these beds. And that's the plan. So we'll see. Now I've got to go on and see how my peanut harvest did this year, but we'll do that another day.